Split, an M. Night Shyamalan movie starring James McAvoy. A 2016 thriller that follows Kevin Wendell Crumb, a man who appears to be suffering from dissociative identity disorder, and the dark paths he will follow to please certain identities within him. Art class schoolmates Casey, Claire, and Marcy are about to embark on a journey into pure nightmare when an innocent birthday party at a mall ends up in an abduction in broad daylight. 23 suppressed personalities reside inside Kevin Wendell Crumb, a shattered man with dissociative identity disorder. However, from the horde that plagues Kevin, some identities are inevitably more sinister than others. Sooner or later, an elusive 24th beast persona will emerge in all its glory, as an amalgam of Kevin's qualities and the highest form of human evolution. But could the beast be only a fantasy? Kevin Wendell Crumb is considered the antagonist and main character of the movie Split. Now, in another movie that correlates with Split called Unbreakable, the audience gets a brief look at his character as a child. In this scene, the protagonist, David Dunn, who has a psychic connection with any person that he encounters, and he happens to come in contact with a random woman holding the hand of a little boy. It is not stated in this movie, but that little boy will grow up to become Kevin Wendell Crumb, whom we see in the movie Split. When David bumps into the woman, he can hear the screams of a little boy. That little boy is Kevin, and David knew that he was experiencing child abuse in his life. Kevin has a minor role in the movie Unbreakable, but what we see in Split is the true nature of Kevin and what his abusive childhood shaped him to be. From childhood to adulthood, Kevin experienced abuse at a very young age. His father left and never came back, and he was left with his mother, who would severely punish him if things were not kept clean or in order. As a defense mechanism, Kevin developed multiple personalities to help him through the hard times. When his personalities were developed, he was taken to a therapist named Dr. Karen Fletcher. Throughout his childhood and adulthood, Dr. Fletcher would counsel and study Kevin and his multiple personalities. Dr. Fletcher diagnosed him and stated that his personalities were created to protect Kevin. What started as merely a couple of identities as a child, as an adult, Kevin developed a whopping 23 identities in his mind. Kevin was diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, also known as DID, at a young age by his therapist, Dr. Fletcher. DID is a severe condition in which two or more distinct identities or personality states are present in and alternately take control of an individual. Disassociation is a disruption in the usually integrated function of consciousness, memory, identity, or perception of the environment. An example of this is feeling as though they are standing next to themselves or watching themselves do something. The symptoms of DID are multiple personalities. He has 23 memory variations. He is unaware of what his identities do. Depression, drug abuse, some of his identities take drugs, and eating disorders. Kevin displays many of the symptoms on his own, and especially through his many personalities. For example, one of his identities, Jade, is depressed because of her constant medication. Kevin experiences this watching himself do things when one of his 23 personalities takes over his mind. His other personalities have to sit in a chair. This is a severe case of DID, one that can almost be considered supernatural. DID is in the DSM-5 category. His characters. In the movie, it is known that Kevin possesses a total of 23 identities, but there are only a few of them that take control of Kevin for a long period of time. Barry, Dennis, Patricia, Hedwig, and the Beast are only a few of his many personalities, but the audience gets a deeper look into these characters because they are the main ones that take over Kevin throughout the movie. Barry is a fashion designer. When he meets with Dr. Fletcher, he always brings his sketchbook to show her his latest designs. He is very social and outgoing compared to the other identities, but in the movie it is believed that the other identity, Dennis, was portraying Barry in order to keep his own identity a secret from Dr. Fletcher. Barry is one of the dominant personalities because he claims that he is the one who grants the other identities time in the light. Dennis is the first identity that is seen in the movie. He is the one who kidnaps the girls in the parking lot. He suffers from OCD and has a history of dancing with naked girls. He is one of the more serious and dangerous identities because he sometimes cannot control his urges. His character is the one who attempts to portray Barry when he visits Dr. Fletcher, but after a while she figures him out and finally gets to face one of Kevin's new identities. Patricia is a matronly English woman who is a perfectionist and is also one of the more dangerous identities. Her and Dennis work together to keep the girls imprisoned for the Beast. Hedwig is a 9-year-old boy with a lisp who is very friendly and innocent. He is submissive to Dennis and Patricia because they promised him that he would not be bullied anymore by the other identities and that he would get more time in the light. Finally, the most sinister identity is the Beast. The Beast is a monster who feeds on the impure in the movie. His motive is to feed on the girls imprisoned in Kevin's home. He is what you would consider supernatural. He is not injured by bullets, he can climb walls, and he can move jail cell bars with his bare hands.